we know that Jesus' sacrifice is all. He sacrifices all for us. In obedience to the Father, he sacrifices all for us and for our salvation. That's the beginning truth that we hear in the gospel today, where we start the process now of Jesus offering himself up for us, that which we will commemorate in 1 week. Total sacrifice. We have some sense of what that's about. We just finished the Olympics, and in the lives of some of those Olympians, you can see that tenacity and absolute kind of giving of themselves for the sake of that goal. The goal. Young kids, starting early, grade school and early high school, practicing and practicing and practicing. Where other kids are out riding bikes and having fun, they're skating. And they're learning to skate. And they're learning to skate better and better. Or those kids that are the gymnasts, those skinny little girls up there on those bars doing crazy things with their body, and yet they are practicing and practicing and practicing. And they give up so much, almost their entire childhood, for the sake of what they will do when they're 18 years old. Total sacrifice. We also get a sense of sacrifice, at least I do anyway, when I think about parents and the things that parents give up. Simple things that I take for granted. Like an orderly house, where when I put something down, it will actually stay where I put it. Parents have given up that particular security. Parents give up money. Come to the end of their day, they're lucky if they have $1 left in their pocket. They give up privacy. Parents give up privacy because of all of the children that they have brought into their home. And I would venture to guess parents give up just a little bit of their sanity for the sake of something that money cannot buy. Something so important to you. Maximilian Kolbe is a good example also of someone who gave up a great deal. He was arrested by the Nazis and put into a concentration camp. And the story goes that a number of prisoners had escaped. And so the Nazis decided that the number of prisoners escaped, that would be the number of prisoners they would kill. And they randomly chose that number of prisoners and lined them up and decided to condemn them to death. And one of the men bewailed the fact that he was leaving his wife and his children at home without anyone to take care of them. And Maximilian Kolbe, a Franciscan priest, came forward and offered his life in exchange for that one. The guards were kind of shocked by it, but decided to go with it. Those prisoners were put into cages where they starved to death. And in the end, they were given shots to end their lives quickly. Maximilian Kolbe knew what it was to give up everything, to sacrifice everything for the sake of one person. Well, my friends, Holy Week is just around the corner. It's just around the corner, and could you perhaps do more for the Lord, considering what he has already done for you? What sacrifice could you make for him as we contemplate what he has done for us? Perhaps you could make it a goal for yourself to attend the Holy Week services. It would be wonderful if Good Friday and Holy Thursday were as full as this church is now. Even a dream of mine would be that the Good Friday service would have as many people in it as the Christmas Eve liturgy has. Isn't it so important what our Lord has done for us? How he has died on the cross for us. He gave his blood for us, for our salvation. Don't take that for granted. And try to respond in such a way that you want to give back to him something of what's important to you. Your time to pray, to thank him, to experience the sadness that happens on Good Friday, the joy of Holy Thursday when we celebrate the Eucharist, or that lighting of the new fire and all those candles that remind remind us that he is the light of the world on Easter Vigil. And then there's the penance service on Sunday afternoon. It's been a long time since you've been to confession, and maybe get there and do that and make that sacrifice. And let yourself experience the mercy of God that came about because he gave it all for us. Yes, we can all do more to make real for us, in a small way, the sacrifice that the Lord had for us. So the pattern is set by Jesus. The pattern is set by our Lord. That heaven is not a gift, but it's a given for those who want to respond in the same way that Jesus responded to us. Only if we die to ourselves, and only if we live with lives that are for others, can we hope to make it to heaven. We got to follow the same pattern of Jesus. It's not possible to do it any other way. I always am kind of, I have a difficult time grasping the difference between the Old Covenant and the New Covenant when it comes to the radicalness of what Jesus brought. And the only way that I can really see the radical difference between the Old Covenant and the New Covenant is that in the Old Covenant, the law was given to us to condemn us. In other words, the purpose of the law was simply to make us feel guilty and to make us feel like there's no way you can possibly be good enough for God, because no one could keep the law perfectly. Sacrifices were offered for the forgiveness of sins, but they truly were not the sacrifices that were necessary. The real sacrifice was when we gave our own lives. And so we didn't do that. We put an animal in the place of us. And so when the animal was sacrificed in the temple, that animal became a symbol of us. Still, not good enough. Not enough to really accomplish the bringing together of God and man. When Jesus came as the Son of God, and when he gave his life for us, that is a qualitatively different kind of sacrifice. That is a sacrifice that we can benefit from because he takes our very human nature and offers it up to God in sacrifice. Because of his death on the cross, we can be forgiven. Not just made guilty. Not just worried that we could possibly be, maybe he would forgive us. But that we really are forgiven because of that sacrifice on the cross. That's the difference between a covenant that is based upon law and condemnation and a covenant that is based upon sacrifice and forgiveness. Jeremiah lived in tragic times, and he summed it all up by saying that everything that we have been doing to try to achieve our salvation has failed. The priests have failed us, the kings have failed us, our country is destroyed. The Lord is going to have to do something different. And what he says was, the Lord will write this law on our hearts. Well, the only way that law can get written on our hearts is if God does it himself. And he did that with his sacrifice on the cross. I will write my law upon their hearts. Today is the feast of St. Patrick. And in his Confessio, Patrick starts off with, I am Patrick, a sinner, a poor man. Pope Francis did the same thing when one interviewer asked him, describe yourself. And with their long pause, he says, I am a sinner. When we realize how much we need God's forgiveness, then we will want to go to him and ask for that forgiveness, because he's the only one that can give it to us. Patrick taught us that. And just like so many people today, Patrick didn't get it. As a young man, he failed to understand how much God loved him. No matter what, his family was Christian, but he didn't get it. He only got it after he'd been captured by slaves and put into forced labor. He finally went back to what he had learned and finally encountered the living God in his heart and experienced that forgiveness. We have many opportunities for us to go to the Lord and ask Him to come into our hearts and to recreate us and to make us new. Many opportunities. Let's not miss them. Let's let the Lord invite us more deeply into a relationship with Him, a relationship based upon His own sacrifice of Himself, when He gave it all.